Yeah, and that's another thing that we've seen on film. He did in week in the preseason at some point. But overall, he's a good, talented quarterback, and we respect anybody that steps out on that field on Sundays.
The turnovers obviously were huge for this team last season, early and then late in the season. So it's a mindset. We talked about this before. You got to have that mindset going in, but then when you have the opportunities, you got to go make those plays.
Yeah,
Too.
absolutely, man. We just understand as a defense that turnovers. That's our formula for success. We know we're playing against some good teams. They're gonna make their plays. We're gonna make ours. But at the end of the day, that ball is the most important thing on the field.
What's better of a player are you now than you were maybe a year, 2, 3 ago?
I just think that goes for just any player just being, in a similar system and just having just experience in the NFL. I think every year you should probably progress unless you know what I'm saying, get up there in age, like too far in age to where, you just physically can't endure some of the things your body used to. But yeah, I definitely think I'm a lot better player than I was 4 years ago. Even last year, I want to be able to be consistent and prove that I'm that type of player.
You mentioned it earlier, the continuity. A lot of the starters are back on this defense, play callers back on defense, all you guys growing together. How real is that, and how will that show up on the field?
It's real, man. We do little things like, we may go eat at one of the players' house or something like that. So it's more than just on the field. It's the off the field stuff as well, and understand that these are, your real brothers, and that you're trying to feed their family as well as they're trying to feed yours.
Divisional game to start. They're all important, but the AFC South games are number one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta win every game in the division. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be seeded right, you want that home field advantage at the end of the year, and just to make sure you find a spot in that playoffs, you got to win your division.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Kind of building off that a little bit, Ray. Doug remembered in pretty much very vivid detail some of the plays, some of maybe the miscues last time you guys went to Indy. How much do you remember that game, and maybe how guys can change the script this time around?
I know that when we went to Indy last year, it was much different than game one. I know we played them the first game of the season last year, and it was a shutout. And we went up there later in the season, and Matt Ryan was just on. And that's just Matt Ryan things. He I don't know if he's still playing or not. So he was really good quarterback in this league, and yeah, it's just every dog has his day, but we got to understand that we got to be just much more of a consistent team, especially where we're trying to go this year.
With that game, it was a lot of dinking and dunking by Matt Ryan, and obviously Anthony Richardson's a different quarterback, but that seems to be what the Colts have done. That's been their calling card when they've beaten the Jags. How do you counter that?
We just got to make our adjustments. We got to understand that that's what they like to do. If that's been the history of the Colts versus the Jags, then we got to at some point make adjustments and take that type of stuff away. So hats off to them for game planning well, but it should be much different this year.
Yeah. That said, obviously different play caller, different quarterback. Really no tape outside of the preseason on the two together. How do you prepare?
You just go back to fundamental football, and then, you got to understand the history of the game and the players or where they're coming from. You got to understand the type of quarterback we're playing. You got to understand the type of offensive coordinator that we're playing. So you might have to go back, in the vault and go watch some old things that may show up in the game.
Read option quarterbacks at times were a bit of a challenge. Other times, obviously, against the Ravens, you guys really succeeded against that type of quarterback last year. How do you prepare for AR?
Just like I said before, just understand what type of player he is, what type of player that the organization thinks he is, and we got to understand that his team is what plays are they gonna set him up to better have success in. So we just gotta, as long as we understand that, I think we'll be all right Sunday.